What's up? What is up, my beautiful people? Thank y'all so much for tuning in for another edition of, and this is actually a special edition of My Plate, My Choice, because this is the first edition of the new year. So, of course, I don't know, we gotta do something different this year, right? We have to do something really intricate and something that's really gonna help you guys grow. I feel like last year we had a phenomenal time laying the foundation out for everything that we would build on going forward, right? And so I listened to you guys, I listened to your feedback, I listened to the questions, and you guys would see me post different things about meals and different ideas like that. So, of course, I'm in the kitchen today. I'm not at the table. I'm in the kitchen because we are about to get to work in the kitchen today, right? So, got something special in store for y'all. All right. Hey, all right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon. Yeah. For all my people, yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Yeah. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's get to it. All right, so listen, of course, we know January is notorious for having this. Man, here's all my resolutions and here's what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna throw these new things out there. I'm gonna work on this. All right, cool, that's great, but it will not work without a plan. You all know that it will not work without a plan. And one of the things that we constantly covered last year when we would talk, you all would often say to me, or people that would just find me, would say, hey man, like I want to cook and I want to do these things, but man, I can't really find like recipes, or like, man, it just seems like it takes too long for me to do it. Okay, don't worry, I got you. Today, we about to knock out some meals, and I'm gonna show you how to do some quick meals. Yeah. I'm gonna show you how to do some quick meals today, right? The apron's coming out. Y'all have never seen me. Y'all have never seen me really get active in the kitchen. So welcome. You guys are in for a special treat today. All right. So I'm gonna show you guys some quick meal options that you can do that don't take too much, right? Because we want to be able to get in and get out of the kitchen. You don't want to spend hours in the day, hours of your day in the kitchen attempting to put together a meal. You know what I mean? You want to be able to do things that are going to be nutritious, things that are going to be beneficial for you, and things that are going to help you grow in the right way, right? So that's what I'm here to do. Let me get situated. Yeah, driving and listening. Okay, Miss Cunningham, but I need you to be safe while you're driving and listening, okay? Please be safe. All right, so listen. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things. All right, let me cue up my other camera. I'm gonna show y'all how serious it is today. Let me cue up the other. Let me get it going. Hold on just a second for me. How do I bring it back up? All right, hold on. Hold tight. Hold tight. Hold tight. All right. So we good. Can you all, just to make sure you guys can see a dual view on camera right now, right? I just need like one of the people on here to say yes. Somebody give me a yes real quick. Like you can see the dual view. So you see me in front of you and you see the countertop, correct? Yes. Yes, somebody quit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Boom. Yeah, I got to rep the Gators now. Come on now. It's only one team that matters. Y'all already know. Come on. We got to stay together in this terrible land that we live in, right? But all y'all tired fans. All right, so listen, let's get to it. Here we go. All right, so let's start with some salmon today. All right, so I'm gonna get you guys with some salmon today. Salmon is one of my favorite things to prep. Absolutely one of my favorite things to prep. And there's so many ways that you can do it. Typically, when I buy salmon, I've shared with you guys, I don't go to Publix and just buy like the one or two strips of salmon. I like to buy the entire plank. Now, this is just a couple of pieces, but I'm usually able to get about, my yield is like 6 to 7 pieces out of every plank of salmon. All right. So, of course, that might cover my, now, you all don't eat as much as I do. Karen, go Gators. You already know. So, you all don't eat. I'm sure you won't be called to eat as much as I eat. So you'll probably be able to get through the day with just one lunch and one dinner, right? So if you bang out 7 pieces of salmon, right, you think about it, that would be your lunch for the entire week. And then I'll give you the B plan, the second option, and that can be your dinner for the entire week. And boom, I'm going to knock out both of these meals. These are 30 to 45 minutes on the meals, right? So you can get in and out the door. All right. So here we go. We got salmon. Now for me, I always keep gloves handy because I like to touch my food. I'm not one of those people that doesn't like to touch food. Somebody said I love salmon. Absolutely. Listen, I could eat salmon 14 days a week. Okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can eat it every day twice. Like that's how it is for me. And a lot of days I do eat salmon twice. I just love it that much. All right. So cool. All right. So one of the things I'm going to tell you guys to start with, I always start with Pam. Man, I gotta get the way. Here we go. Okay. Boom. Pam. I always use Pam. Why? You guys remember last year I talked to you about understanding taking in unnecessary fats. So sure, it's really cool for us to, grab the canola oil or the vegetable oil and cook with that. Yeah, that's just kind of what we grew up on. That's what we were taught. But Pam is so much easier as far as the nutritional value of it. It makes things work a lot better. All right, so here we go. So boom, hit that salmon real quick. You don't have to spray both sides. Well, yeah, I don't ever spray both sides. I keep the skin on. This particular setup has the skin on. Now, you can do this. Let me give you a couple options for how I do salmon. It's cold right now, so I'm not going out to fire up the grill. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not firing up the grill. It was snow flurries out today. No need for me to be on the grill, right? So that gives me a couple options. I can either throw my salmon in the air fryer, I can throw my salmon in the oven, or I can pan sear my salmon. 1, 2, and 3. You can't go wrong with either one. It's just all in how you want to do it, right? So if I was going to throw my salmon in the oven, I would put all of this salmon, I'm going to season it up. I would put all this salmon on one pan, put it in the oven. Now you got to watch it. And the reason why you watch it, you can cook salmon too long and dry it out. You can dry it out. And it's just like a lot of times we tend to overcook salmon. Like we cook it so that it has the consistency of chicken and like you really have to work to break it apart. Salmon is a fish. It's a much softer consistency. So you cook it just enough to where you slide your fork through and it just breaks apart. Like that's, I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll show you later on another specific day. Woo! All right, let's get. Can y'all tell I'm nervous? I've never cooked like on camera with y'all, so that's a whole new vibe for me today. All right, so here we go. So we just sprayed down our salmon. Now your seasonings are totally up to you. It's all up to how you do it. Y'all know I love Kinders. I can get real wild with Kinders. But let's go here. Yeah, let's keep it simple. I'll keep it real simple and real standard for you guys. We'll just go accent and buttery garlic herb. We'll go accent and buttery garlic herb. Now, for those of y'all who are like, well, George, what about salt? Listen, I get it. I don't overload my food with salt, okay? So, yes, you can use salt, but you don't want to overload it, right? So, you got to be kind of watchful and moderate when you're seasoning it, right? So, cool. And normally my base layer, I'm actually out of my base layer. I like Morton's. This is Seasons All, but I like the Nature's Own. That's always my base layer for anything. I'm giving y'all so many tips today that I don't normally give people, but I'm trying to help y'all because I want y'all to be great. All right. That's the main goal, is for us to be great. All right. So boom. So we're going to hit it real quick. Season. Boom, boom, boom. Come back with the Kinders. I love Kinders. You can find Kinders at Sam's, Publix, anywhere. Shout out to Kinders if y'all want to sponsor me. I got no issue with that. But here we go. All right. So boom. You want to make sure you coat that fish really good. Boom, 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 boom. Now, because it has the skin on, no need to season both sides. You're not going to eat the underside. It's got the skin on. So here we go. Now, just that simple, I promise you, it doesn't look like I did a whole lot, but I did a whole lot. Some of y'all specialize in over seasoning. You don't have to over season. Keep it real simple. All right. So boom. Now, so I would take this right here, throw it in the oven on 350. If you are taking notes, listen to me. Salmon, throw it in the oven on 350 for about 10 minutes. At the 10-minute mark, turn your oven to broil. You are going to broil the salmon for about 3 minutes. That 3-minute broil will make your salmon crispy on the top, but still keep it moist and really good on the inside. Got it? So it's different ways to do it. If I was going to pan sear it, if we were going to throw this salmon right here in the pan, I would tell you, cook it on medium heat, 4 minutes on, 4 to 5 minutes, depending on kind of how every oven and stove is created a little differently. But I would say about 4 to 6 minutes on each side. Even with the skin on, you're going to cook skin side down first, flip it over, skin side up, boom. All right. So now take it, this goes straight in the oven. I don't have to do anything else to this. This is a complete product. I don't have to do anything else. That's a done deal. I'm going to throw that in the oven. So imagine that we just put that in our imaginary oven and you say, okay, cool. Well, George, I need a carb source. I need something filling because I can't just eat salmon by itself. So we started here with your basic sweet potato, right? Now, there's so many ways to create a sweet potato or to cook a sweet potato, but I like to trick myself into thinking I'm getting fries, which is why you see me cut this into these small strips. I like to trick myself, because if I trick myself, it makes me feel like I got French fries. So you don't see me in the line at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or whoever to get some fries unless I'm just having a cheat. But for the most part, I'm going to trick my mind because I'm going to eat these like fries, right? A lot of times you got to understand that this right here, man, listen, you can make this so simplistic or you can make it so hard. You learn how to work with how your mind thinks. Your mind likes often, sometimes, not sometimes, but oftentimes your mind likes creativity. A lot of the reasons why a lot of us fail when it comes to this is because we don't want to do the same thing, but just figure out a new way to do it. So yeah, I may just cut this sweet potato in half and eat it like that one time. And then there are days where I'm going to eat it like French fries, right? Keep it real simple. Now, with these, I'm going to hit them with the Pam again. Real simple. Now, it just depends on what type of flavor you're trying to go with. A lot of times, I'll throw cinnamon on those sweet potatoes. Today, I would just say, let's go with the ultimate garlic. Let's hit it with, no, my bad, y'all can see that. All right, there you go. So I would just say, let's hit it with the ultimate garlic. We hit it with the ultimate garlic. It's going to give us a roasted flavor, right? Because these are going in the air fryer. I don't have to, if you don't have an air fryer, listen, I would suggest that you invest in one, right? So boom, hit it with that. You're going to mix that in because I just coated it. So right now I'm mixing the oil and the seasoning. Now I'm going to come back one more time with the seasoning. Again, real light, not too heavy, not like your grandma. We don't want to, because we're trying to stay here. We're not trying to leave here. Got it? So here you go. Boom. Now, these are ready to go. Now, I would toss these in the air fryer really quick. Depending on the temp and the type of air fryer you have, you just kind of watch it. With mine, about 12 minutes. I would just throw these in there about 12 minutes. So now you think about it. I made the salmon. I put that in the oven. Like I said, 10 minutes on 350. Then I switched it to broil for 3 minutes. Boom, my salmon is done. I put the sweet potatoes in the air fryer for how long? Depending on what you got. But for mine, 10 to 12 minutes. That meal is done. That meal is done. So for you who say, man, it takes so long to do this, that meal is done. Here's a completed product right there. There's salmon. There's a sweet potato fries that I made in the air fryer. That's a done deal. So I made that process 30 minutes. I just made meals for the entire week. You have to tell me what's hard about this. What's hard about it? What's hard about it? You might say, I want some more food. So if I wanted something else, I may throw in like real simple. Listen, I'm a simple guy. I'm going to go hit some okra right now. Y'all love fried okra, and that's cool. But that's not going to help you stay here. And you know that. So for me, I'm going to take this okra right here, go straight in the air fryer with it also. I'll throw some Pam on this, season it up, throw it in the air fryer. Now, what do I always tell you all about our green vegetables? We want to cook them to where they still have a what? That C word. Yep, you got it. It's a crunch. We want to cook it to where it still has a crunch. Why? Because when I have that crunch, I still have the nutrients of that vegetable. Much like if you notice, I don't cut the skin off my sweet potatoes. If you look at the fries closely, I don't cut the skin off my sweet potatoes. Why? Because the nutrients are in the skin, right? So we've got to get away from trying to cook the nutrients out of our food and welcome them into the food, right? So yeah, it might take some getting used to, right? If you got those childish taste buds and you like, man, I got to have it this way. Listen. Maturity, I've told you, we spent all last year talking about maturity. Maturity is understanding I'm eating for health. I'm not eating based on what I like. I'm not eating based on what I used to desire or any of those things. I'm eating for health because I want to be here. You all know our pastor told us, what's the saying for 2025? We are going to thrive in 25. How can you thrive if you don't start in the kitchen first? This is where you thrive. It's got to start here because you can't thrive outside in your purpose if you're too weak. You can't thrive in your purpose if you're beat down. If you're, like I told you, you in and out of the doctor's office because you won't eat the right things. So your position of thriving has to start in the kitchen. So yeah, I'm going to hit the okra. So now I go green, I go carb source, and I go meat. Protein, carb source, my green. So imagine that there's some okra right there. Boom. Or yes, I think I saw somebody ask about broccoli. Absolutely. I love broccoli, but I eat it so much that I just like to switch it up. So like my go-to for my green vegetables, my go-to is probably broccoli, okra, Brussels sprouts, green beans, and every now and then I'll slide in some squash and zucchini. Can I tell y'all something that's so funny? Everything that I eat now are all the things that my mom used to make me try to eat. Well, used to try to make me eat as a kid that I didn't want to eat. Think about that. She's like, son, you got to eat this. I can tell y'all about a specific time that my mom made me sit at the kitchen counter all night to eat my vegetables because I did not want them. And I put my vegetables in a napkin and I thought I tucked them in the trash can. And my mom came in the kitchen and I don't know, I wasn't thinking. She checked the trash can and found the vegetables and gave me a whole nother serving of vegetables. I promise you, I was out there for hours to eat vegetables. Now, you do not have to ask me twice. I will eat a plate of okra. I will eat a plate of green beans, a plate of Brussels sprouts, because I understand they benefit my body on a whole nother level. So it's not about what you like. You fall in love with it because you see the results. You feel better. I've had so many members pull up to me in church and they're like, listen, George, I started doing these little things and I can't tell you how good I feel. Why? You just changed what you eat. You just changed what you take in. Your body is a car. If I'm not servicing it with the right things, I can't expect it to have a long life expectancy. Come on now, this is simple. Do not overcomplicate the process. So now you said, all right, cool. That's meal one. We got that out, right? Meal one, real simple. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to tell y'all, meal two. Now, if y'all notice when I talk about chicken, you never hear me talk about chicken wings. Now, us, African Americans, listen. Yes, Mom, you were right all along. I saw that message. Yes, you were right all along. I give you that. Absolutely. Right? So listen, when we talk about chicken, I never talk to you all about chicken wings. Why? Because chicken wings carry so much fat in the skin, and I need you all to be delivered from those chicken wings in 2025. You have got to let them go. All right? So there are different types of chicken that we can eat. We can do chicken breasts. And y'all say, oh, man, chicken breasts, they kind of dry. They are, but it's cool. Season them up, sauce them up. Get to going. Maturity. You know this. Yes, Phyllis. Maturity, right? I'll give you this. So I started using chicken thighs a little more, so I got you. Boom. So I started using chicken thighs a little more. So I'm going to show you real quick every ingredient that goes in this meal. And this meal is going to take you 4 hours to make, but it's 4 hours that you don't have to do anything. Listen to me. I know I said 30 minutes, but it's 4 hours, but you don't have to do anything. All right, so I'm going to show you all the ingredients. So pay attention to the split screen. All the ingredients for this meal. You got your boneless, skinless chicken thighs, onion, diced roasted tomatoes, minced garlic, balsamic vinaigrette, and whatever seasoning you put on the chicken thigh, okay? Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully, step by step. First of all, you wash your chicken. I'm going to say that one more time. First of all, you wash your chicken, because I've noticed some of us don't like to wash our chicken, and that's nasty. But that's a conversation for another day, okay? So wash your chicken. And I will go through and trim the excess fat off the chicken thighs because I'm not here to take in a whole lot of fat. So I will go through and I will trim off the excess fat off a chicken thigh. I'll give you an example. Like, let me just show you for somebody who says like, well, George, what do you mean? When I buy chicken thighs, I buy the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, all right? So here you go. That's a real clear view of the chicken thigh. Boneless, skinless. So what do I mean when I say I cut off the excess fat? You guys see this right here? Let me bring that up a little better. All this right here, this discoloration, that's all fat. So what I would do before I cook it, I am going to cut that off so that even though I'm eating a chicken thigh, I'm not taking in all this excess fat. It's still going to be juicy. I promise you. It's still going to be a juicy chicken thigh. Well, George, you cutting off meat too. Yeah, okay, it's cool. I'm cutting off meat, but it's okay because I bought it, so I'm okay, right? I bought it. So here you go. Boom. I would come through and trim this off too right here. Real simple. Real simple. Real simple. Boom. So now my finished product of what I would wash and cook, now it looks like this right here. It looks like this right here. You see I've taken off so much of that fat. I would cut off that part too. Yeah. All right, so now here we go. Boom. This is what my chicken thigh looks like that I'm going to cook. So I would wash this and season this up. Let me wash my hands real quick, guys, if you don't mind. All right, so with that same chicken thigh, though, So I'm going to wash those. I'm going to wash those and I'm going to season those up, right? I'm going to season those up. Season those up. Miss Dobbins, yes, you taught microbiology. It's definitely a separate comment. I'm telling you, because you know it's important for you to wash your chicken. Absolutely. All right, so listen. So boom, now. So just imagine I've cut all the fat off of that. I would take it to the sink. I wash it. Now, how many of you have a crock pot at your house? How many of you have a crock pot at your house? A crock pot. Crock pot. I'll show you. This is my crock pot. Real simple. Slide. Real simple. This is my crock pot. This has now become my favorite friend. Now, I promise you, for the longest, I would not use the crock pot because I felt like it was cheating in the kitchen. Like I love to touch everything and physically do everything in the kitchen. So I just always felt like I was cheating when I was trying to like throw things in the crock pot. I was like, nah, I don't want, I've had my crock pot for years. I just started using it last month. Listen to me. I've had this crock pot for years. A lot of us, when I say you use your crock pot, I'm not talking about for rotel dip because we know we good for some dips in the crock pot. I'm not talking about anything that's going to the baby shower. All right, because we are good for some baby shower food on any given night. I'm not talking about the baby shower food. I'm talking about really putting together meals in the crock pot. I'm going to show you. All right, so what I would do, here you go. Now, pop off lid on the crock pot. Boom. Now, what I would do, chicken goes straight into the crock pot. It's real simple. Chicken goes straight into the crock pot. I am going to cut up the entire onion. So again, simple recipe. This entire onion gets cut up and now that's dropped in the crock pot. What else? I'm going to open this entire can of diced roast. And it's important that you get the roasted tomatoes because they carry so much more flavor. I like the garlic roasted tomatoes and the regular roasted tomatoes. I would pour both cans in. Got it? So now take the lid off. Use your can opener, take the lid off, pour that whole can in there also. Boom. Now, I'm probably going to take about 3 spoonfuls of the minced garlic. 3 spoonfuls of the minced garlic. And I'm going to dump that in there. You do not have to mix anything. Listen to me. Everything that I'm telling you about this recipe, if you are taking notes, write this down. You do not have to mix anything. All those ingredients, you are going to toss them in the crock pot. Y'all remember, I'm an 80s baby. Y'all remember during the 90s, they used to have these little convection ovens. And the whole theme of the convection oven, they would be like, set it and forget it. And they would have the whole audience be like, set it and forget. Okay, that's the theme of the crock pot. We're going to set it and forget it. All right. So boom, all those. Now, last but not least, I'm going to use a balsamic vinaigrette. G Hughes, I prefer G Hughes because it's very low in sugar. I don't know if you guys can actually see that label. I'll hold this for a second so you can kind of look at it. But that's 0 sugar on that, 45 calories, 4.5 grams of fat per serving. I'm going to pour this entire bottle into the crock pot with those ingredients. Now, what's next, George? Absolutely nothing. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to lock it down. And I'm going to let that cook on high for how long, George? 4 hours. How long, George? 4 hours. I actually did this for my meal prep clients. I did this for my meal prep clients this weekend, and I delivered some of the meals. And one of my clients, if I wasn't using my phone right now, I would show you guys a picture that my client sent me last night of the empty container and said, hey, this was probably one of my favorite meals. Really simple, very flavorful. You guys know when you cook things in the crock pot, especially when you cook your meats in the crock pot, they are going to be so tender. And I mean, truly pull apart tender, right? So I'm going to sit all those ingredients in the crock pot for 4 hours on high. I don't have to check it. It's almost like your faith, right? So when we pray and we release something to God, you're not constantly checking in with God like, God, you got that yet? God, you got that yet? No, I prayed about it. I released it to God. Same thing with the crock pot, right? Simple analogy. Same thing with the crock pot. You put it in there, you let it go. Don't sweat anything else for the next 4 hours. Just let it cook, right? Now, I'm going to show you how that comes out. Really simple. Again, I made this last night, and you're going to have like a whole lot of broth that you can add to it. But here's the finished product of this. I added some rice. Of course, I'm a fanatic of having rice. Now, don't go overboard on the rice. When I put rice in my meal preps, half a cup of rice. Half of a cup of rice. And I'm going to use the basmati rice. or the jasmine rice. You don't want to use the enriched rice because rice that goes through an enriching process has other chemicals and pesticides that they're going to add to it. So when you get your rice, you want to get rice that you look at the ingredients and the ingredients are rice. You don't want to see anything else, which is, so like I said, the jasmine rice and the basmati rice. All right, so here you go. This is what it looks like. So now you see my onions, they've cooked down, my roasted tomatoes, 2 chicken thighs that I put in there, and I scooped out the sauce. So once I warm it up, I can pour some of that over my rice. But as you can see, like the juice is all in the bottom because it's a very juicy dish and it's full of flavor. How hard was that to do? How hard was that process? It was a very simple process. And then I plated up, and guess what? I am done with my meal preps for the week. I just gave you all 2 meals. I just gave you all 2 meals. Yes, you got to cut back on, but you love some rice. Absolutely, we all have to cut back because I'm going to tell you, one of the things I'm going to talk about this year is understanding what a serving is. Yeah, that S word is worse than the real S word that we call a curse word, a serving size. We do not understand what a serving size is. We just eat until we're full. That is not a serving size. Anything that you pick up is going to give you a serving size on the back of that label. Now, you guys know we talked about it January and February of last year, reading the labels. Part of reading the label is understanding what a serving is. What is the serving size? So now, once I understand what a serving size is, that helps me to better be in a position to not overeat. Right now, I'm not going to overeat because I'm giving myself the proper servings. Are you still going to be hungry? Sometimes. Why? Because you have conditioned your body to believe that you need to really eat 2 or 3 servings in one serving. And then at the end of the week, you're like, George, well, I'm eating the right things, but I'm still gaining weight because you're not eating proper serving sizes, right? So now let's think about it. I just gave you 2 meals. Meal 1, 30 minutes out the door. Air fryer and the oven, or air fryer and you want to cook it in the pan. You want to what is it? Dang, sear it, pan sear it. There you go. So you want to cook it in the oven or you want to pan sear your salmon. So meal 1, 30 minutes. 30 minutes on meal 1. Meal 2, 4 hours, but 4 hours that you didn't do anything. You washed your chicken, you cut your chicken, you seasoned your chicken. That's a 5-minute process. You threw that in the crock pot. You cut up an entire onion. That's what, 2 minutes. Throw that in the crock pot. Open up a can of your roasted diced tomatoes. 10 seconds. Pour that in there. Open up the can of the balsamic vinaigrette. Open that up. Pour that in. 10 seconds. 2 spoonfuls of the minced garlic. Pour that in. Now put the lid on. Boom. No. Okay, real quick. No, Miss Smith. I did not cook my rice in the crock pot. I did not cook my rice in the crock pot. My rice is going to be cooked on the stove. But I'm going to tell you all a secret because, listen, I've been at too many events and I have been around too many people that don't know how to cook rice. You overcook rice, you undercook rice. Rice is one of the simplest things that you can cook in the kitchen. I'm going to tell you what to do. Before I close it out, take notes of this. It's very simple. 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. That's your metrics, okay? You don't have to look it up. 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. Those are your metrics. Now, put your water in the pot. Turn it on high. Let it come to a boil. Put the lid on. Now, I like to season my rice. A lot of y'all like your rice just as white as the wall. I like to season my rice. So I'm going to throw a couple herbs and spices in there while that water is boiling. I let that come to a boil. Then when it comes to a boil, guess what I'm going to do? Dump in that 1 cup of rice, or if you're doing 2 cups, if you're trying to prep for the week, so you may do 2 cups of rice. So you know, simple mathematics. If I did 2 cups of rice, that means I now need 4 cups of water, right? So boom, I'm going to dump that rice in there while it's boiling. Put the lid back on. I am going to let the rice sit in that boiling pot of water on for 1 minute. Listen to me. Check me if you think I'm lying. I promise you your rice will come out perfect every time. No need for a thank you. No need for a Christmas gift later. You're welcome. That's all. That's all. You're welcome. All right. So you're going to let that rice sit in that pot of boiling water for 1 minute. After 1 minute, turn the stove off. Don't take it off the eye. Just turn the stove off. Let it sit 10 or 15 minutes. I would say about 15 minutes. Let it sit. That rice is going to be perfect every single time. You cannot miss if you cook it that way. Stop trying to put so much thought in. No, I do not like microwave rice. Why am I going to get microwave rice? Why am I going to overpay for something when I can go buy a big bag of rice that's going to last me a month? And it takes me, it's a really quick process to cook. I don't want y'all to cook for me. I got it. So no, I did my rice on the stove. Boom, that rice is done. It's sitting up. The rice has been done. It's just sitting up waiting. So at the 4-hour mark, when I turn that crock pot off and I fish out those and I'm going to show you. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm going to show you real quick. All right, and I'm done. Now, mind you, I cooked this last night and I did not warm this up, but I do want to show you like how tender these chicken thighs are. And this is just cold. But look, watch my hands just pull through that. Look at that. Look how I just pulled through that. Look at that. It's no effort there. And that's just cold. It's been sitting in the refrigerator. Why? Because that crock pot is your friend. All right. So listen. I've dropped 2 recipes for you guys today. I've dropped 2 recipes. I appreciate that. I promise you I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Listen. I've dropped 2 recipes for you today. 2 recipes. I gave you multiple ingredients and I gave you 2 recipes. If you listen to me, you cook both recipes and you have prepped your meals for the entire week. You're done. I know it's easier to go to Chick-fil-A. I know it's easier to go to Zaxby's. I know it's easier to pull up on McDonald's, but is McDonald's going to help you thrive? No, ma'am. No, sir. Nope. I know you say, okay, I can go order from this place. Man, I'm going to just cook it and get it done. So now all week, guess what I'm just doing? Grab and go, grab and go, grab and go. All my meals are grab and go for the whole week. Grab and go. They're in the freezer. I'm just going to grab it up. When I get off this stream with y'all, I can't wait because I'm about to warm this up and eat this right now. All right. So I'm saying 2 recipes right there. When we come back, not next week because we got the single life next week, but when we come back the following week, I'm going to drop 2 more recipes for you guys. Probably for the first month of the year, or at least the first month and a half, I'm going to show you all how simplistic this process can be. Stop overthinking it. Don't make it harder than it has to be. We keep it simple and then we all thrive. Y'all got me? All right. Listen, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning into the stream today. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all lit up the chat, so I couldn't keep up with everything that y'all were saying, but I'm going to have to go back and kind of read. And maybe if you guys had questions, I want to make sure I address them when we come together the next time. Also, listen, if you guys have ingredients, I can give you a meal for any set of ingredients. I do not care. So if you want to shoot some ingredients in the chat, or when you see me, for those of y'all that might have my number, text me. If you got my email me. Say, hey, George, give me some meals for these ingredients. I don't care. I spend time doing research. How can I cook? A lot of things that I cook are things that I may desire that aren't good for me, but I figure out how to make it in a way that's much healthier so my body can enjoy it. Oh, I'm probably going to show y'all how to make some pizza. I talked to y'all about that like last year, and y'all were like, yeah, show us. I'm going to show y'all how to make pizza next time. So y'all throw some other ingredients, and I got y'all, all right? Other than that, y'all be blessed, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. I tell you all the time, I do not take it for granted that you guys chose to give me 33 minutes of your day. I appreciate you all so, so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to all my people. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Y'all